An educational TV program, Travel Around Kazakhstan, on domestic tourism is produced within the frameworks of Ruhani Jangiru project. Every episode, our camera crew travels along popular routes marked on the touristification map of the Republic. Today, we have decided to get out from the Almaty city once again. The big Almaty Lake is one of the most easily accessible nature attractions for the city residents and tourists. It is the most scenic mountain lakes of Kazakhstan set among Tinshan ranges. A basin of Bal has formed in the mountains many millions of years ago. Hello, my name is Shinbulat Pazil, and this is Travel Around Kazakhstan show.
Меня зовут Шинбулат Пазл и программа «Путешествую по Казахстану».
The Big Almaty Lake is in the Bosandig district and easy to reach by car. It is better to leave the town along Dulati Avenue. From Sain Street and Dulati Avenue Junction, you need to follow the road up for 9.5 kilometers towards the mountains. At the fork, gently turn left and drive for 14.3 kilometers. Then, you need to turn left again on the Prohodnaya Gorge, Passing Gorge. You should rely on signposts of Alpine Roads Hotel and ride another 1,100 meters. In total, the road would take about an hour to an hour and a half. Asphalt will be paved all over the road, so reaching the destination would not be too difficult. At outposts, you have to pay for entering the Ili Alatau National Park. There is a place which must be visited along the road to the Lake Ili Alatau National Park border at least once. Sunkar is one of a kind Saker falcon nursery in Kazakhstan. Some nurtured birds have been used in some traditional falconry. Others have been released to the wild to increase their population. The nursery is classified in Kazakhstan's Red Book as the only one that raises Saker falcons in captivity and releases them into the wilderness. In front of an entrance to Sunkar Nursery is this robot made out of car part. It is a copy of Wally, the robot from an animation of the same name. Wally watches you not to throw garbage everywhere, but into a bin. Clean nature starts from you.
Чистая природа начинается с тебя.
Sunkar Nursery was established in 1989 in order to rebuild the Saker falcon population. For 30 years, people engage in environmental, tourist, science, and hunting activities. It was financed by an international program on biodiversity conservation. Sponsorship has ended with the collapse of the Soviet Union, but the bird nursery has continued to work.
Hi.
Hi,
What's your name?
my name is Guy.
Shinbulat.
Shimura, nice to meet you.
Where are you from?
I am from Israel.
What do you think about these birds?
Well, these birds are beautiful. It's quite rare to see them anywhere else in the world, and it's really a nice experience.
They bought the flock of 13 birds in Almaty Zoo. Now, the nursery has more than 400 female falcons. It turns out that raising a bird is more than a science. Falcons should act like they were born in the wild and not surrounded by people. For example, if you see a falconer whose bird makes alarming calls when they notice a human, you should know that it grew in captivity. Right now, a staff of the hatchery faces the main challenge of saving the symbol of Kazakhstan, a golden eagle, and the Saker falcon, the favorite among falconers in lots of countries in the world.
В определенное время, в определенном возрасте, мы птенцов группируем.
We group and move baby birds of a certain age to this two-story tower. Here, we can put birds of different ages.
Двухэтажная, чтобы мы могли поместить сюда группы птиц разновозрастные. Все птенцы
All chicks start learning to fly at a certain time from birth. At first, they prepare as they would in nature.
То есть сначала у них идет, скажем так, подготовка, тренировка, что у нас, что в природе. То есть на
Birds start to jump on the spot, catch airflows, and see how they should act when flying.
потоки воздуха, ну и понимают, как им действовать уже, когда они полетят.
Furthermore, here people breed steppe eagles, owls, Barbary falcons, Peregrines, and gerfalcons. To feed so many birds, 120,000 one-day chicks are needed, but the more valuable feed is rats. The bird nursery opened a vivarium with 10,000 of them. From this tower, they let baby falcons out to teach hovering for a long time. In the wilderness, these hunting birds train to fly for a month by leaving and returning to the nest. In the bird nursery, the staff imitates the training equivalent to the natural environment. For guest entertainment and increasing awareness of preserving rare Kazakhstani birds. I have noticed that there are more foreign visitors than from Kazakhstan. The bird nursery started holding performances with trained falcons and golden eagles from 2006. Currently, it is the sole show with birds of prey in Kazakhstan. This is the reason why many travel companies include it in big Almaty Lake weekend tours. Thank you for the show. I liked it very much. Could you please tell me, how do you come up with all of this?
Ну, это не совсем новое. Придумали каждое свое частное шоу. Вообще такие шоу проводятся уже давно.
It is not a new show completely. Europe and the USA have a long history with these shows. The concept is that there used to be the falconry. The basis of what you saw today is a training of birds of prey to make them obedient. Therefore, a part of our performance is to show how we teach birds and how we hunt with them. In addition to birds of prey, we had an owl, a white-tailed eagle, and a griffon vulture. We expanded the idea of falconry to present other predatory birds.
То есть мы идею соколиной охоты расширили, чтобы показать плюс еще хищных птиц.
The routine includes 7 kinds of birds of prey, which show different ways of hunting under the guidance of an experienced ornithologist. At the same time, an audience receives information about the history of Kazakh national hunting, the way of life of birds, and methods of their learning.
I'm from India. I'm a doctor staying in Mumbai. We've come to Kazakhstan to have a touristy visit. It was fine. I've been all over the world seeing a lot of bird shows and animal shows. This was excellent, unbelievable.
Wishing good luck to the staff of the bird nursery, we enter the territory of the national park and continue our way to one of the favorite holiday destinations of Almaty residents. It is impossible to get lost on the road to Big Almaty Lake, which has one direction only. Some people even prefer to walk from Almarasan to Bal on foot for 4 to 5 hours.
4-5 часов.
As early as the next tourist season, the Almaty Tourism Administration plans to make the lake more attractive for tourists. This is the reason why the entrance to lake on cars will be prohibited and parking is going to be organized above an ecological outpost. And most importantly, you can reach the lake on environmentally friendly buses from the Baolan Shalak Sports Palace. Until then, fans of walking on foot can get to the end of the line of bus number 28, which is located just at the fork of the road, and one of which leads to Big Almaty Lake. In total, you have to go approximately 10 kilometers. Those Those who head into mountains on foot experience more satisfaction. You could walk, breathe the cleanest mountain air, and just enjoy these beautiful views. The lake is located on an altitude of more than 2,500 meters above sea level. A crown of mountain peaks surround it. Kanishsapaeva Peak, 4,317 meters. Ozerny Peak, 4,110 meters. Taurus Peak, 3,954 meters. And the Big Almaty Peak, 3,681 meters. The Big Almaty Lake is not that big after all. A perimeter of the shoreline is only 3 kilometers. The reservoir is 1.5 kilometers long and 1 kilometer wide at its wide spot. No words can describe the beauty of this place. The cleanest lake and the magnificent panorama, icy peaks of Trans-Ili Alatao. In fact, the Big Almaty Lake is called big not because of its size, and the small Almaty Lake does not exist. The secret is simple. Bal is in the gorge of the Big Almaty River, which feeds it with its waters. The lake has environmentally clear and pristine water. In calm sunny weather, the majestic mountain slopes reflect in its mirror surface. The color of waters is incredibly beautiful. It can change during the day, taking teal, ultramarine blue, and emerald undertones. You can feel the difference of temperatures near mountain slopes and lake really well. Even on hot days, it is brisk on the Big Almaty Lake. As early as October, it begins to freeze, and the ice cover holds for 6 to 7 months. I look at the scenery and think that people call Almaty and its surroundings a small Switzerland knowingly. The depth of Almaty Lake depends from the time of the year. It has more water in July to August. In wintertime, the water level can drop to 15 to 20 meters. This is why it is not enough to come to Bal once. You have to travel here a few times at different periods of the year to enjoy quite distinct views. Lately, a decrease of the lake size is observed due to landslides from the sides of mountains, but there is a different main cause of this issue. Because the Big Almaty Lake supplies the largest city of Kazakhstan with water, tourists should understand that the lake, dam, and other facilities are under the state protection. Naturally, there are several simple restrictions that must be followed. Driving motor vehicles to coastal shore, approaching water for any purposes, including swimming and fishing, arranging picnics and lodging for a night, grazing an outdoor run of animals, walking to the dam without an escort of hydropower plant are strictly prohibited. That is why cafes, shopping tents, and hotels are not available on the lakeshore, which is an excellent idea because you can admire wildlife in its original form. However, you have to remember to bring along food and drinking water with you. Having climbed by 2 kilometers over the light blue mirror of the lake, we see a dome of the Tinshan Astronomical Observatory, located in an ancient glacial valley at an altitude of 2,700 meters. Here, at the base of the Big Almaty Peak, you can adore the panorama of mountains in the Big Almaty Lake encircled by Trans-Ili Alatao peaks, covered with Tinshan spruce, aspen, and juniper trees. At the Tinshan Observatory, there are 2 main Carl Zeiss telescopes with a 1-meter diameter of a mirror. Observatory astronomers call them Western and Eastern. They look like this. Throughout Kazakhstan, there are only 3 1-meter telescopes, 2 of whom positioned here. You may find a 3rd one in Asi Turgen Observatory. Such reflectors can serve a world science for 150 years. They are constantly modified. A mirror optical system in one of the telescopes has been in operation since 1989. A few years ago, the staff finalized this adjuster, so the field of vision of telescope has increased by 4-fold. Tianshan Observatory is one of the 3 stations in Kazakhstan where we hold astronomical observation. We conduct surveillance in the optical range, invisible light. For this, a special kit of astronomical filters is used, which emit certain bands that interest us in electromagnetic spectrum. The history of astrophysical research in Kazakhstan started from the total eclipse of the sun on the 21st September of 1941. It is surprising that even then, during the Great Patriotic War, scientists had not given up their activities. Expeditions from Moscow and Leningrad arrived to Almaty to witness the eclipse. A few days later, academician Vasily Fesenkov sent a note to the Council of the People's Commissars of the Kazakh SSR, in which he justified the need for establishment of Kazakh Research Institute of Astronomy, Physics, and Geophysics in Almaty. Later, it was renamed into the Fesenkov Astrophysical Institute. We must tell what we are doing. For this purpose, we need to organize travel tours to observation centers here and abroad. You hardly can call it a travel trip. It is rather a journey to broaden the horizons. However, it should be done within the framework of such projects, so as not to disturb researchers. Monitoring of celestial bodies in the Tianshan Observatory had started in the summer of 1957. Then, the world celebrated the International Geophysical Year, and the high-altitude exhibition was organized. 5 years later, in 1962, the expedition turned into a permanent observing station. You can manage this huge machine with the help of the internet. A researcher opens a special program, chooses a celestial body, and sets the parameters of its filming. After that, the tower roof opens, and the telescope aims at the selected object. After the sunset, even the smallest light could hinder the work of monitoring devices. So here, people's access is restricted. Kazakhstani astrophysicists were able to break the image of a scientist. Thanks to the latest technologies, they make a great contribution to world science. Unfortunately, for the masses of tourists, observatory in the Tianshan is not available for a visit. That is a strategic scientific object, which is understandable. In addition, astrophysicists should work at night and also rest during the day. It is still possible to visit the observational station for educational purposes. You have to send a letter to Fesenkov Astrophysical Institute and wait for an answer a week before.
Hello.
Hello.
Меня зовут Шинбулат.
Hi, I'm Badger.
Шинбулат.
Darcy.
Очень приятно.
Nice to meet you.
Откуда вы приехали?
We're from America.
Yes, we're from Ohio.
Как вам здесь? Нравится?
Yes, we love Almaty.
This is my favorite city in Asia. It's wonderful that the public can walk up here and pick apples and look at the stars, and there's a beautiful view of the city.
Besides, this is where, through the 1-meter telescope, scientists have been monitoring KazSat, geostationary Kazakhstani satellites which provide telecommunication services in the country. Observing allows avoiding the collision of our satellites with others, which now number about 2,500. They say that it is pleasant to admire stars in the mountains with an unaided eye. We can't see them in the sky yet, but we will wait when they show up. It is fascinating that the movement in space is identical to the city streets. Sometimes satellites maneuver. You can slow down one slightly and others overtake it. Every Kazakhstani or foreign tourist should come here to experience the beauty of the Ili-Alatau ranges. This was Shimbolat Pazil and Travel Around Kazakhstan program.